Joining us now is Mike Bako, sports editor with DailyNational.com. Mike, what on earth was the president thinking, in your estimation, in all of this?
He was continuing the narrative that he is so happy that the NFL gave him on a silver platter. Roger Goodell and the NFL owners coming out with this rule last week just gave him political red meat. He's going to continue pounding this drum for the next 3 months until the season starts, and then beyond, depending on what the players actually end up doing.
But everybody in the NFL, all the players and so many fans now are laughing at Donald Trump.
They are laughing, but his supporters are eating this up. This is just something he is playing to his base. There was a report that Donald Trump spoke to Jerry Jones off the record saying, "You're not going to be able to win this argument. This is something that I'm going to take to the absolute bank, and I'm just going to continue to ride this." So this is something that the NFL, they played their hand wrong. They played their hand wrong in terms of not meeting with the NFL Players Association, coming up with a binding rule that they could both stand by, and certainly having this loophole that the president is pounding away at about allowing personnel and players to stand in the locker room. Trump is hitting back at that in statements and in tweets.
For the president, it's all about patriotism, and yet on this day, during the event, there was the president trying to sing along for God Bless America, and watch, it appeared that he didn't know some of the words. Here it is.
The mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with gold.
I mean, that's just embarrassing.
I will give the Philadelphia Eagles a good idea for their home opener. Play God Bless America and have the entire crowd sing along. I think they'll know all the words by that time. Certainly an embarrassment for the president not knowing the words there at his own rally that he was forming. But I think some of those tweets that Torrey Smith and Malcolm Jenkins came out with, it was the nuance of the conversation that they were trying to get ahead of the headlines and the tweets from the president, really trying to get the fans to understand why they were doing these protests. Certainly Donald Trump's base doesn't see it that way. Certainly Donald Trump didn't see it that way. And I think to a certain degree, the NFL owners and Commissioner Goodell didn't see it that way. They wanted to sweep this under the rug.
So who would have figured that the National Football League would be on the side of nuance and context and understanding that this is about equality and justice in America, and the president of the United States would oversimplify it to the point as to try to even dumb down his own supporters.
Dumbing down his own supporters and even going beyond the NFL players. You saw certainly right now in the height of the NBA finals, Steph Curry, LeBron James, other players openly mocking the president. LeBron James saying whoever wins this NBA finals, will probably be the Golden State Warriors, will not be attending. We may be seeing the end of sports teams, professional sports teams attending the White House, whether it be a Democrat or a Republican, just because it's become too politicized.
Or it might just be this particular president who has dumbed down the issue and oversimplified things to the point of everybody knows that he's doing this for political purposes.
Absolutely. You know, if you actually look back, though, at the history of athletes not attending White House celebrations, Tom Brady did not attend twice. Michael Jordan did not attend. He wanted to play golf. Larry Bird did not attend in the 80s when Ronald Reagan was in president. None of them on political grounds, just because they had better things to do. Certainly not the case now.
And yet those presidents chose to invite the teams anyway. They weren't hurt.
Absolutely.
That's a different era that we're in. Mike Bako, sports editor with the DailyNational.com. Mike, thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.